they saved the ending, the beginning for the ending. Anyway, I'm Derek Lambeth, the Earthquake Early Warning Program Manager at Cal OES. I am presenting on behalf of my colleague Megan Sullivan, who leads our Research and Development Division and was unable to be here today. I want to thank Pierre for having us, and I will try to get through as quickly as I can because I know everyone's ready for lunch. So, without further ado, with the presentation today, quick high-level overview of the California Earthquake Early Warning System and some of the projects that we have coming down the pike with Pierre. So the Earthquake Early Warning Program was spawned out of legislation that was passed in 2013, and with the funding and support of both then Governor Brown and now Governor Newsom's administrations, we've been able to move towards funding our stated goal of 1,115 stations. And the goal of the California Earthquake Early Warning System is to provide the people of California with crucial seconds to take protective actions once we realize an earthquake is on the way. And a key point is earthquake early warning. Some of the partners that I'll mention here are a little sensitive if we say early earthquake, because we cannot predict earthquakes. We are able to, and I'll talk a little bit about how it works, we are able to recognize that an earthquake is on the way to give an alert and warning. Some of those partners, with the legislation that was passed in 2013, the California Integrated Seismic Network is comprised of USGS, CGS, our partners from California Institute of Technology to the south, and our UC Berkeley Seismology Lab. And the legislation tasked Cal OES with being that central coordinating entity for the program. Some of the success stories include the Menlo Fire District, who has implemented the earthquake early warning system within their fire stations. And when I say implemented, I'll discuss that more, but some of the functionality of the earthquake early warning system goes beyond just giving you a heads up. BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, is also an end user who has implemented earthquake early warning within their system, and it allows them to slow trains once they realize that an earthquake with significant shaking is on the way. And last but not least, the MyShake phone app, which is the primary modality that we are able to share earthquake early warnings to the people of California. It is a free app funded by the state, developed by our partners here at Berkeley in the Berkeley Seismology Lab. How it works, quite simply, and it's fun to speak to an audience that I know knows way more about earthquakes than me, but bear with me. So when a fault ruptures, it'll send out the P wave and the S wave. Of course, the P wave being that primary wave that will go out first. It takes 4 of the sensors. Remember I said our stated goal was 1,115. That was developed by the partners. It'll take 4 of those sensors to recognize the potential magnitude, and it will then give a heads up to the Earthquake Alert Center, who then pushes out an alert to the license to operate vendors or end users, some of which I named previously. BART as well as MyShake are some of those. And then they are able to transmit to utilize that signal to support their efforts. This is a glimpse of what the stations look like, and you know, we again are privileged to say that the state has fully funded these stations, and we are working with our partners, and we expect by the end of next year that we should be pretty close to completing the build out, and then moving towards operations and maintenance and continue to refurbish these stations. I mentioned earlier about the implementation of earthquake early warning and the ability to do more than just give you an alert. This system has the ability to trigger to stop or bring elevators to the nearest level, to slow down escalators or stop escalators. With fire stations and fire districts, most importantly, open bay doors, as we've learned even most recently with the Ferndale earthquake. Our firemen and women are able to get to their stations quickly and want to get out to save and help people, but sometimes because of the shaking from that earthquake, they're unable to get those bay doors open, thus delaying their ability to provide assistance. And another thing to think about is if you have a loved one or a significant other that is getting ready for surgery that day, wouldn't it be great for that surgeon to receive a heads up, whether it be strobe lights or something, to realize maybe right now is not the best time to proceed, and then take protective actions. The MyShake app, we are nearing in on 2.7 million downloads. Again, this is one of the primary modalities or pathways to get the earthquake early warning alerts. Right now, you are also able to receive WEAs, wireless emergency alerts, and those expand beyond just earthquakes. That is a federally supported program that will also give you heads up for tsunamis. However, the MyShake is geared at this time specifically towards earthquake early warning. And additionally, those that own Google or own Android phones, this system is now part of their operating system. So you should receive an alert if it is expected to be a 4.5 or larger. And as many of you know, it can take days, sometimes hours, to confirm an actual magnitude. But if it's something that initially those four sensors think could be around that magnitude, it will send out the alert. Now I'll speak to some of the projects that we have working with our partners here at PEER. Cal OES has an interagency agreement in place with the Pacific Earthquake Engineering Research Center for a study and benefit cost analysis of the California Earthquake Early Warning System. This study and BCA will be an update to the previous studies completed in 2016 and 2020, in which PEER also was involved in. This project will provide an updated assessment of the system's values to the business community sectors in order to promote public and employee safety, enhance business resiliency and community recovery, and protect critical infrastructure and the economy. It will also provide an updated analysis to assess assess and validate the potential benefits of an earthquake early warning system. PEER will be providing research, systematic information gathering, and analysis services to inform future planning for CEWS, or California Earthquake Early Warning System, with a threefold study. One, provide a qualitative and updated understanding of the use and value of CEWS in key sectors of the state's infrastructure and business community for such benefits as public and employee safety, business resiliency and recovery, and the functionality of infrastructure critical to communities and the economy. Objective number two, provide a quantitative benefit cost analysis, otherwise known as a BCA, update the CEWS system from the system provider perspective, including current costs, cost of savings, potential future costs, and maintenance costs. Previous estimates have been developed on the cost of building out an earthquake early warning system, but it is invaluable to have updated costs that are more accurate. And lastly, provide a summary of report outlining the implications of the findings from objectives 1 and 2 for future focus areas of system enhancement to increase the net benefits to the public and private sectors, and increasing awareness and use of this system. Specifically, the report will address how to increase system uptake within the private and public sectors. And apologies, I have to read these items because Megan wanted to make sure I covered every point, so bear with me. For the implementation of EEW within airports, as part of Phase 1 for transportation, Cal OES has been coordinating with several stakeholders, including board member Lori Pepper with the California State Transportation Agency, Caltrans, UC Berkeley's Resilient and Innovative Mobility Initiative, or otherwise known as REMI, and the UC Berkeley Seismology Lab. After several planning sessions, it was determined by all partners and our research team that using a phased approach to the implementation of EEW within airports, starting with a feasibility study, would be the best starting point. The assessment of this airport and the development of a feasibility study would identify the most appropriate technologies needed for each airport, the stakeholders that will need to be involved, and determine any requirements and all the necessary steps to efficiently and effectively implement EEW and applicable automated actions in each airport. After a feasibility study is conducted, our partners and research team, Cal OES, will then move forward with the actual implementation of EEW within the identified airports of Los Angeles, or otherwise known as LAX, and Palm Springs International Airport. Additionally, specifically, this feasibility study will explore several facets of implementing EEW within Los Angeles International Airport and Palm Springs Airport. The university and the other stakeholders, including but not limited to CALSA, Caltrans, UC Berkeley, CDT, etc., to conduct a walkthrough and assess the airports and provide a report on all the processes that need to take place in order to implement EEW within each airport. This includes providing a checklist of all the steps needed to take to implement an EEW system and automated actions within each airport, including both the land and air side of each airport. Include all the processes that may need to take place with outside stakeholders. This also includes any required plans, licenses, special permits, or other hurdles that may be required to be in place. This could include regulatory agencies that govern airports or bureaucratic hurdles. It will also identify any technology needed, hardware, software, etc., to install an earthquake early warning system within each airport. It will also include a summary of how the airport and passengers could be affected by the installation process will also be included. It will also identify types of automated action capability within each airport and specify the capabilities of each location and provide guidance on costs and technology needed to implement automated action and integrate them within the earthquake early warning system. A couple of reasons why we're beginning with LAX and Palm Springs. One, we were looking for a moderately sized and a large size airport so that once these studies are developed, we kind of have those variances to be able to assist with other airports that are interested. And our goal is to implement throughout every industry within California as we see this as the future for the earthquake early warning system. And that concludes my presentation today.